Tell Me About It is brought to you by Extreme Health Club.
Trevent Hayes, KY Sports TV, James Brown, 104 The Score. We are on Glasgow Electric Plant Board, Channel 6, the local channel, on Tell Me About It. We are joined with our guest today, Cornelius Faulkner, the GOAT. Great coaching career at Caverna, boys and girls, AAU guru with the Stars, Southern Kentucky Stars. Today we're going to talk about the transfer portal in the NCAA. Is that okay with you, James?
Yeah, have fun.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So you're not going to talk?
No.
So if it's not baseball or softball, you don't want to talk?
I mean, I'll weigh in.
You said that you didn't want to talk about no baseball or no softball now.
We may come back to that next week. It's still basketball season.
Yeah, we are wrapping up and beginning March Madness and wrapping up some of the high school boys state tournament.
We'll do that on the last segment. We'll talk about the girls, and then we'll wrap it up with the boys. But this NIL, the college transfer portal, which is being really impacted by the NIL.
Real quick, I would say something.
Okay.
I would say we should separate the NIL from the transfer portal.
Well, you can't.
Well, I think you can.
I don't think you can.
You got two. Well, Corn's over here shaking his head.
Just
Yes,
because it's you and Corn,
either one of us.
because it's you and Corn, don't mean that I'm wrong.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying they're two different issues.
They are two different issues.
Okay, it's two different issues, but how much does the NIL affect the transfer portal?
NIL does draw the student athlete to a specific demographic, yes, because the more money, the more opportunity for the money, yes, but at the same time, the portal's the portal.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, you can go somewhere and be great without the money.
But in today's society, how many of those kids are putting greatness before the money?
I hope Reed Shepherd does.
That's not what I ask you. I ask you how many of the kids are putting greatness before the money.
It depends on the situation of the family and the kid.
Okay.
Yeah, this makes me think about John Thompson, what he said at his last years at Georgetown. He said he wasn't recruiting the same kids he used to recruit. Now he was recruiting middle-class kids that didn't need anything from him. And so I think that's why you got to kind of separate the transfer portal from the NIL. Some kids are chasing opportunities, and some kids are chasing money. The percentage that are chasing money is like 2%. The percentage chasing, the reason I say that is there's not actually that much money out there when you talk about the high end. I mean, you're talking about Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, that kind of thing. You only got 12 players. So you're not going to get that many who are going to get there. You got a lot more who are maybe at a lower end school, NAIA, Division III, Division II, chasing Division I opportunity. The money's not necessarily where they're going. There's a lot of kids going to San Diego State. San Diego State ain't paying out the bills.
I disagree with that because in football, you've got. No. Will you let me talk?
Yeah, you can
Will
talk,
you let me talk?
I don't think you need to compare apples and oranges.
It's student athlete and student athlete.
No, it's two different.
It's not. Yeah. If college football players are getting a minimum at a mid-major school of $5,000 a year, everybody on the team,
which is not big money,
right? So you take away 78 kids and you only got 13 or 14 on a basketball team, all that money's there's more money in it. There's more money than what you think, James.
Go ahead, Corn.
I'm going to use the example of South Carolina women's basketball.
Okay.
Because I know this for a fact after going to the games down there and talking to some people and to some parents. The NIL money, the coaches do it a different way. Mm-hmm. Now, Staley, she makes it a purpose for all her kids to be successful with money and not have outliers. Now, LSU, you've got outliers because you've got a player telling other players you need to get your money up. Mm-hmm. So if you've got a player like Angel Reese, LSU, making big NIL money, And then the guard who just signed with Steph Curry, can't think of her name off the top of my head.
The little girl from South Carolina.
The point guard. Who was not making a lot of money until she just signed her deal. That's why I kind of say you got to kind of separate, because she's been there for 2 years, not really making a lot. Well, a year, not really making what Angel Reese has been there. She's her last year. She's going out probably WNBA. So that point guard has been there this whole year, getting a little money because of the way the coach at South Carolina, the way the coach has distributed or allowed for the distribution of the NIL money. So I'm not going to say it's always the payout for the transfer. Now, I don't know what Haley Van Leaf, how she would go from probably making pretty good money at University of Louisville to transferring to LSU. I can't say that money got a lot bigger.
She made more money. And the reason I know that is because my niece played for an assistant coach that's an assistant coach at LSU. But do you think she went for money, or she wanted to have a chance to win a national title? She didn't go. She went to be a part of something bigger.
Because she didn't need the money.
No, she did need the money. She wanted the money.
Everybody wants the money, but
She
that doesn't
wanted
make
the money.
want and need are not the same.
But I just
wanted the
think,
money.
I think in her case, I think it was more of the opportunity to really, I thought she had an opportunity at University of Louisville to compete. Final Four, get to the title game. I don't know why she didn't think she had an opportunity to win
And
it.
you know what? It's been a bad move for her.
It has.
It's been a bad move for her.
Yeah, if you wanted to win a national title, you should have gone to South Carolina.
Should have went to South Carolina. Or if
And
I
ride the
were in
bench.
Haley Van Lith's shoes,
Right.
I would have went to Iowa with Caitlin Clark. There's just as much as attention. She's going to get just as much attention with Caitlin Clark as she would have at LSU, because the national spotlight was on Caitlin Clark.
I'll give you that one.
And she's not really performed anywhere close to what she performed at Louisville since she's been at LSU.
And it's a lot like what we see in high school sports when we hear coaches talking about certain kids coming to their school and doing this and doing that. If the fit ain't right, your performance is going to change.
Right.
You know, it's just hard to be a big. She was a big fish at the University of Louisville, and she just became a fish.
Right. A goldfish,
at
because
LSU.
she's maybe number 4 or 5.
Right.
You know, I think of like the chasing NIL money as the wild west of leaving high school early for the NBA, never going to college. As it worked out, there's a very small percentage of players that it panned out for. There were a whole bunch it did not.
Right.
If you're transferring to chase the money, you might get the money, but that money is going to get spent and is going to be gone, and your career is probably done unless you have somebody to help you manage it. Or you're very good at, your family can help you manage it, no matter who it is.
And
that's one of the things that worries me about that. The thing about the transfer portal that is different is you may go somewhere to get the opportunity to play, and then you get that next step. You might not get the big money in college, but you've opened the door for yourself to get money, whether it's in the NBA or overseas.
Yeah.
And so
I can speak on that one because
Yeah.
I've seen that myself.
Yes.
The NIL money that my son received compared to him, the opportunity he got playing at the University of Louisville allowed him to go to England to play professional basketball.
Which is a steady income versus
Yes.
I got this little check right now, and
Yeah.
that's the thing I think that people don't realize is a lot of people are getting $5,000. Very few people are getting $1 million.
Exactly.
And that $5,000 is good enough to, I guess, put some gas in your car for a while.
Yeah.
But it's nothing down the road. You still have to set yourself up for your career, whether it's that college basketball career or your postgraduate career, whatever that may be. Because if you're not doing that, then it's kind of fool's gold, I think.
your NIL deal, the money the main money that Angel Reese, Flau'jae Johnson, Caitlin Clark, Haley Van Lith, their main money didn't come from an NIL deal. Their main money came from Instagram.
Well, I mean, that's true, but still. I mean,
But
the
the
long-term
NIL
question is-
deals makes your Instagram more popular. The social media is paying these kids so much money, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I just hope they got good accounting.
Yes.
Accountants.
That's right.
good advisors.
Yeah, because they actually had to pay.
You got to pay taxes.
Angel Reese and Flauget were both talking about they had to pay taxes.
You got to pay taxes.
Yeah, the man always comes for his money.
Yeah.
He's coming.
He's going to get his share.
He's coming. We didn't really get to talk about, we got off on the NIL and didn't talk about the transfer portal. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll hit the transfer portal.
All right.
Extreme Fitness has doubled in size, now with over 8,000 square feet of co-ed weights and an upgraded 90-degree saline therapy pool. The Extreme Fitness campus also holds the exclusive Extreme Fitness for Women complex and Extreme Blend smoothie bar. You have to experience the variety of classes to realize the impact they have on their clients. Personal training is with the best in the business and is available and tailored to fit individuals. So start your journey today at Extreme Fitness and Health Club.
Introducing the Glasgow EPB customer payment portal and mobile app. With our new sleek and user-friendly payment portal, managing your Glasgow EPB services has never been easier. And if you need to make a payment on the go, our new mobile app lets you pay your bills with just a few taps. The Glasgow EPB customer payment portal and mobile app, because managing your Glasgow EPB services should be as simple as flipping a switch. Visit glasgowepb.com/billpay today to sign up and download the app.
We're back. Transfer portal. We will not discuss NIL deals with the transfer portal. Lifetime Louisville fan. Die-hard Louisville fan. I really feel like the fans on social media has caused the first 6 transfers, or the first 6 to enter the transfer portal at U of L. I believe that. I'm in all the Louisville groups on Twitter, Facebook. And sometimes I don't think people understand that these kids,
They're just kids.
they see it.
Yeah.
They see it.
And it affects them.
Yeah.
They're 18, 19, 20, but they're still not adults yet. We consider people to be adults when they turn 18, but they're still kids, and they have feelings.
Even with everything you just said, think about this. As a fan, how would you want someone to talk to your son, daughter, niece, nephew, no matter what the situation?
As a fan and a parent.
Exactly.
I used to sit in the stands and listen to, and you heard it because
I
they
did.
played together.
Yeah.
Trevor and Mason used to play. They were younger. And as soon as Trevor gets the ball, pass the ball, Trevor, pass the ball, Trevor. Okay. And, it was just, I don't know, why did he shoot it? Why did he shoot it? And, I really held my composure with that, even with Meek. Meek have a turnover or, miss a couple of shots. I heard all the chirping. And I guess it's because I've been around it so long as to why I can contain myself or refrain myself from talking. But when you're talking about, a major university, who's got a tradition of being a winning program?
Yeah.
And these kids come in from, Detroit. I think Williams is from Detroit. As soon as he transferred, he said it was because of the fans.
Yeah.
I'd say all fan groups have the potential to just be absolutely toxic.
Yes.
And really, when you get right down to it, if you consider the amount of people who might be fans of something, we're talking about less than 10% of the fandom that just spend their time because they have no life or this is their favorite thing to do. I mean, if it was legal, they'd probably slap grandmas on the street because that's the kind of personalities they have.
Right.
And so they're not actually fans. They're just trolls.
And the other thing that I wanted to bring out with that was on the flip side, somebody needs to be telling these kids that, just because people are in a Louisville fan group, it doesn't mean they're Louisville fans.
And a small, minute part of that, they're in the groups for a reason.
They're in the groups to disrupt the program, to make it seem as if,
everything's going so bad.
Yeah, Louisville, we're Louisville fans, this is going on, but in reality, they're Kentucky fans.
Yes.
And it is what it is what it is. I mean,
some people just like to burn things down. They're not fans of anything other than destruction.
Yeah. And we all know how UK fans are. We all know. Aaron can attest to that. We all know that they love to see a
Corn,
fire
I'm glad you
in
came to join
Louisville.
us on our last show.
Yeah, I have no comment on all that. I'm a basketball
Hey,
fan.
we don't have to be afraid of Aaron.
No, I'm a basketball fan. If
So now
Louisville-
you're not a Louisville fan anymore?
No, I'm a Louisville
so
diehard.
so now you're going to say
No,
if
I'm-
Kentucky
I'm-
wins, I'm
no,
I'm cool
I'm
with
a
Kentucky
now
winning
you
because
know-
it's in the state of Kentucky.
You know,
Don't you
I'm
do
a
it, Corn.
diehard
Don't let him
Don't
drag
do
you down,
it.
Corn,
Don't
man.
do
He's
it.
trying to drag
diehard
you
Louisville
down.
fan.
Trying to
But
troll you.
in the love of the game, I like to see all our state universities do well. You know,
See, that's how I feel about these things.
if the University of Kentucky's playing Louisville,
I
I'm
don't
for
want
Louisville.
Kentucky to ever win.
Oh Lord.
See, that's the wrong attitude.
It's
man.
not the wrong attitude.
Yeah, it is.
It's not the wrong attitude.
See, you're one of the trolls in there.
No,
you're out here.
I
you're out
never
here
type
criticizing-
anything.
You're out
I
here-
never type
Yeah, but you
anything.
sit there, you go, yeah, that's right.
never-
Yeah, that's right.
No,
Yeah, that's
I don't.
right.
I
And then you
don't.
get on here and you're
I
like,
don't.
you can't be treating people like that.
I don't.
Unless they're Kentucky.
So you're calling me hypocritical. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
But I do want to see the WKUs, the Murray States, I want to see those guys do well. Even though I'm a diehard Louisville fan.
I would like to see Western upset Marquette.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Moorhead. I actually picked Moorhead to upset. Who are they playing? Whoever they're playing. I picked Moorhead to win their first game.
See, here's my thing.
And really, I picked Kentucky to go to the Final Four.
There you go.
I mean, because I'm a sports guy.
Right,
I just
you're
like
the
to
love
give
of the
Aaron,
game.
I like to give Aaron a hard time.
You know, on the business side of things, whenever Kentucky does well, everybody's a lot happier. They like to spend money then.
Yeah. Because that
But-
fan base is so large.
Yeah.
BBN.
But I'm not. Look, I don't. My thing is I don't root for or against anyone. Years of covering sports makes me a person who I don't.
You wishy-washy.
That ain't wishy-washy.
Yeah,
I just
it is.
don't.
So
my
if Mississippi
life's
State goes,
detri-
if
my life
Mississippi
is not-
State goes to the Final Four, I do not want to see you come in here with a Mississippi State shirt on, because you're not a Mississippi fan. You like everybody.
No, I root for.
So here we go.
I
Here
root
we
for
go.
the teams I cover, and I root for the people to do well. All right, but I don't root against them. And as a person who covers sports, what I want to see is good. But I'm in the state of Kentucky. I'd like to see Moorhead, Western Kentucky, and Kentucky all win. I'd love to see all of them get the Final
Oh,
Four.
so you don't want to see
Although it's
Louisville
not
win?
possible. They're not in the dadgum tournament.
No,
they're
you said you
losers.
want to see everybody win. Ooh, that was low. That was low.
They have been the last few years. They've been pretty low.
That was low. Like we don't know.
All right.
Like we don't know.
You just outed
So
yourself
now-
as one of
now
the people in that group, haven't you?
You just made yourself in one of them groups.
Yeah, I
you
did.
throwing them low blows.
I did.
You're probably Luke Skywalker 1650 or whatever the guy's name is.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you
I have
are.
no
I don't
idea
do
what
no
that is.
groups.
You are.
I turn the TV on, I watch a game, hope it's a good game. If Louisville's playing, I want them to win. And in-state schools playing, I want them to win. All the way down to Countville University, Lindsey Wilson College, Georgetown, I just want to see our
It's
schools
going to be
win.
hard. It's going to be hard to have a better game in the whole tournament than it was last night with Grambling State and Montana
That was a
State.
good game.
One of the best games I've watched
That
in a
was a
long
good
I
time.
game.
always root for Grambling State above everybody else.
And I picked Grambling State with the upset with Purdue.
You did?
Why not? Of course I did. Of course I did.
Did you,
You
win
got two,
points?
but I did two. I did two brackets.
And in the other one,
I
you
did
picked
two
Grambling
brackets.
State to get smacked by 50.
No, I did two brackets. I did two brackets.
No, I'll say this. No, I'd like to see Louisville do well too. My son's a big Louisville fan. I mean, so
I know
do.
that's why I liked him better than I liked you.
Well, I mean, there's a reason.
What
He's
about-
probably.
Transfer portal.
We forgot.
They're gone. They're gone. Our whole team is gone. Louisville's whole team is gone.
They all left.
But 4 players.
But the portal itself.
The portal itself, I think that kids should probably wait in the event of a coach getting fired. I think a kid, I know they can go back, but a kid shouldn't automatically jump into transfer portal because the coach got fired until you see who your coach is going to be.
Right.
Do you agree with that?
I do. Because it might be a good fit
He
for
don't.
you. It might be.
I mean,
It's hard to wait anything out because
Yeah, well, that's
everybody
what I was gonna
knows the grass is not always greener no matter what.
yeah.
If you can transfer and go, and we've seen this, kid do great at one school, do okay at another school, and you think he got worse. Well, he didn't get worse. just the fit's different. His
Yeah.
position's different. The
different.
responsibility that he needs to play on the court's different.
The
So,
kid from Grambling State last night, this was his fourth college, number 21.
what does that say?
And he,
What does it say when a kid transfers or they do 3 to 4 different schools? Now, my son did 3 schools, but his first opportunity was a good opportunity until he realized that no matter what he did, the coach's philosophy and his didn't match up.
Well, there was a coaching change as well, right?
Then his next opportunity was a great opportunity, which he played his best basketball. The next opportunity, because it was the COVID situation, going to Colorado, was a good opportunity, but he had an injury that kind of made him think about distance with his daughter. And then the last opportunity, it was a good opportunity, it was just a bad situation.
Yeah.
It was a good opportunity, but the
Hey, don't
situation,
laugh when you say
it
yeah
flipped.
about Louisville, James.
It flipped.
No, I'm not. I'm
That coaching change was a bad situation.
Look, Mason came on my show and talked about his circumstance there in Louisville, and just talking about what we did in the last segment, or in this segment, being in that fishbowl, and you got all these people telling you what's wrong, and you're in the moment of everything that's going on, and all you want to try to do is just play basketball.
You just want to play ball.
So yeah, and I only laugh because Mason and I have had this conversation about exactly what we started this segment on. But real quick on the transfer portal thing, I think going back to should they wait to see who the coach is? It would be great if they did, but everybody else is telling them you need to get out of there
Quick.
And you can get in the transfer portal and then wait and see what happens and,
see
come
what
back.
Back out.
Come back.
Yeah,
So I mean,
true.
putting your name in the transfer portal does not preclude you from waiting to see what happens as well.
But these guys are transferring. That's getting 14, 15 minutes a game, and they're averaging 2 points a game.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of delusional people in the world.
Here's the thing.
There are people who believe in aliens.
It blows me away
know?
that it blows me away that a kid, like you just said, with those stats, there's a coach out here said, "I need you to come to me." What are you getting?
What are you basing that off of?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no way they've had the time to watch film on the guy and say, yeah, that's what we need.
That's what we need.
The-
Play 15 minutes, score 2 points.
Everybody's
One
recruiting
rebound.
that portal instead of high school at this point, aren't they?
That's the piece I want to talk about.
And it's killing
high school sports.
Well, let's take a break and talk about that part then.
Okay.
Extreme Fitness has doubled in size, now with over 8,000 square feet of co-ed weights and an upgraded 90-degree saline therapy pool. The Extreme Fitness campus also holds the exclusive Extreme Fitness for Women complex and Extreme Blend smoothie bar. You have to experience the variety of classes to realize the impact they have on their clients. Personal training is with the best in the business and is available and tailored to fit individuals. So start your journey today at Extreme Fitness and Health Club.
Introducing the Glasgow EPB customer payment portal and mobile app. With our new sleek and user-friendly payment portal, managing your Glasgow EPB services has never been easier. And if you need to make a payment on the go, our new mobile app lets you pay your bills with just a few taps. The Glasgow EPB customer payment portal and mobile app, because managing your Glasgow EPB services should be as simple as flipping a switch. Visit glasgowepb.com/billpay today to sign up and download the app.
Hi, I'm James Brown. We're here on Tell Me About It, Glasgow EPB Channel 6 local channel. Airs every Thursday at 6 p.m. Got Trevent Hayes, KY Sports TV, and Cornelius Faulkner, who's going to tell us the impact of the transfer portal on high school recruiting in basketball.
In my mind, and my opinion is that you have these kids now in high school giving it all they got. The ones who are sacrificing, getting their bodies together, academics together, and doing everything they need to do to have opportunity. Now, due to the transfer portal, these coaches are most coaches, not all, most coaches are looking at kids who have proved themselves for a year or two, going after those kids in the transfer portal, and you got a kid who's not developed physically, who's got a couple years from that as most seniors. It's really putting a black eye, I think, on high school recruits.
I have a quick question on that front. So, do you think that because I've talked to high school folks who, go and play in college and whatnot, and they say that biggest transition is the first few months in college when you realize you don't have anybody telling you what to do with your free time, that you've got to manage yourself, you've got to manage your academics. Now, you do have a schedule for workouts and that kind of stuff, and maybe you have study halls and whatnot that you have to do, but in terms of your free time, you've got a lot more than you ever had in a lot of ways, and so that's the part where they struggle. And so then they struggle to stay on schedule and that kind of thing. So do you think part of the deal is with the college coaches going after the kids who've already been in college and transfer portal is they know that part of the routine?
I think that's the biggest part of it because they understand structure. Structure of that level, whatever that level is, whether it's D1, D2, D3, they understand the level of commitment it takes to be successful.
Yeah.
Where a lot of kids coming in as freshmen may not totally understand. Now some will. The ones that go high major, the Dukes, Kentuckys, the Louisvilles, most of those kids come in ready to play.
Yeah, because they've been living that structure already.
Yeah, they've been in that situation, and people have been probably gearing them mentally to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
How do you think I just saw yesterday that overtime is now going to offer a girls' league. So how do you think that's going to affect recruiting from high school to the college level? How many of those girls do you think are going to skip going to college to go play for this overtime league and get paid?
I don't know if in girls basketball from high school to getting paid is a mindset shift yet. You know what I mean?
Right. So do you not think that Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, do you not think that those girls getting paid has started to impact these high school girls that are players?
I think it's impacting them, but I think they see the benefit of getting into school and receiving that money.
Gotcha.
I don't think them coming from high school to getting paid, because, think about 18, 19-year-old female or male with a bag of money and nobody tell them what to do with it.
Right.
I'm not going to manage that. But if you got a year or two under your belt in school, and then say you got a lot of college athletes who don't get to make the WNBA, then overtime, along with the WNBA, that's a great offset for those kids who can't go overseas maybe and can still play at a high level, have a league.
And it was just a few months ago that I asked that question when we were on of how long it was going to take to have that girls. Actually, it's when Dia was on. So I asked Dia. And I thought we were a couple of years out, and we ended up being a month out.
Do you think that there are fewer people at this point in time in most girls basketball players' ears telling them, you got to get that, you got to get that? Because that seems like on the boys' side for years, we're going back 30 years at least, going back to that going straight from high school to NBA kind of thing, where we've had people telling these guys, you got to get yours, you got to get yours, you got to get yours, no matter what. It still seems like on the girls' side, there's not just as many people in that. Yeah,
a couple reasons for that. I think the equity of the pay.
Yeah.
So they're thinking, I'm not going to get a lot of money anyway. I need to do this, go this route.
Yeah. Well, and the people usually, a lot of times the people talking are hoping to get at least their 10% out of the situation.
Yeah, the ones pushing want to get a quick check.
Yeah.
So really, the Ricky Rows are just legal now.
Oh, yeah, sure, why not? Everything is legal now.
You don't know who Ricky Rowe was? Ricky Rowe wanted a bag of cash with the brand new John Deere tractor on the movie Blue Chips. That's what his daddy.
Yeah.
That's what his daddy. That's what his daddy. So somebody knew what was going to happen way before the NILs came along. They knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Well, going back to that high school recruiting thing, so does that, I feel like one of the things that probably needs to happen is that players need to be convinced that just because you don't go to Kentucky or Louisville or Duke or Kansas or North Carolina or whatever, that doesn't mean you can't go and play and then set a mark for yourself.
Yeah.
And kind of that college transfer portal is kind of panning out that way in a way as well. People are going to the smaller schools for a year or two and then making that jump.
I just read or shared that on Facebook, a post that was made in the AAU fans or AAU site for Facebook.
I read that.
And it talked about you answer the texts and the calls from
everybody.
D2s and D3s and JUCOs. And if somebody calls you or contacts you, you need to don't go. It's this or bust. South Carolina or bust. Because
It's probably going to be bust.
it's going to be bust.
Every time.
Yeah. So what do you think I think still some of the COVID do-over and some of that stuff is still affecting.
I think this is the last year of the COVID players.
It should be about done.
This is
Well,
it.
so
year
do you
4.
think we're going to see a transition back to like 2019 kind of recruiting once
I
these
hope so.
players start rolling out of the system?
We won't see that until the transfer portal is. Will that ever go away?
No.
I don't think so.
I mean, it used to be where you could transfer and sit out a year, but now you can just go and play.
Hey, now they're pushing for high school one-time transfer. They're pushing for that. I read that in a couple of articles that's being presented.
Well, I think the KHSA had that discussion at their last board
They
meeting.
did.
And, I mean, I think it sounded like they were leaning toward allowing the one-time transfer.
Can they pass it tomorrow?
Okay. Self-serving.
Well, I just asked. I just asked. Hey.
They'll have a board meeting this month, I'm sure. Actually, I don't think
it went through.
No, it didn't. But it felt a little hotter than I thought it would.
How will that change the demographics of high school sports? So now,
It's going to be just like college. So then you have the elites with all the resources, whether it's facilities, location. College coach told me one time when he came to watch Boris workout. He said, I'm down here at Converter's Gym. He said, but it's a whole lot easier to get off there at the airport in Louisville and go watch kids than have to get off the airport and drive an hour down 65. We like to go to a spot where we can see it. That's a hint, again, AAU is a good thing to do if you have aspirations, because they can see so many kids in 1 or 2 tournaments, like a Battle of the Borough, Run for the Roses, the 2 of the biggest tournaments in the nation in July.
I think schools such as the ones that I cover should have been. I hope they've enjoyed their time being relevant.
Yeah.
If that's the case, because your Cals and your DeSales and your Evangel Christians, which have come out of nowhere.
No, they've not really came out of nowhere.
Over the last 5 years, yes, they have.
Yeah,
this
but
is their first ever trip to the state tournament.
I understand. Well, there's a lot of good teams that's never made it to the state tournament.
My point is, they went from having 5-7 players on their team in 2015, I think it was, to having a full roster and a bunch of people who are all Division I prospects.
Are they all foreign?
A lot of
Majority?
them.
Is that
No, actually, the starting point.
Is that where Bender had his kids?
Yes.
So what I'm getting at is the people who find somebody to back them, such as Evangel Christian, will now be the breadwinners, and everybody else's players will be their farm school.
It'll be a lot like close to what we see, I believe, with private schools. Because, a lot of kids would go to a private school.
That ain't private.
Well, it's because they're not using their.
And there are no private schools in the 5th region other than Hardin Christian.
Well, Bethlehem's not really private, but it's.
But they
it is,
can.
but it's not.
But they do.
Yeah, they
bring
do private
kids in.
stuff.
They just ain't got the money like some of the ones I was talking about in Louisville. They
Yeah.
don't have the benefactor.
Right.
Well,
And again, it's sports is dog eat dog. So high school's already close to that point now.
since I'm a coach, I'm currently a coach.
You're not going to talk about it?
No, because I can just see it now.
I mean,
That's the headline.
I mean, it's going to be, if that happens, you like you said, a lot of schools will have to, if you got one good player and a bunch of good role players, you're going to lose that great player every year.
And have just role players.
And just have role players.
yeah, so I hope you enjoyed, I mean, if you're a good coach, you might still win 20 games a season because the other 19 schools in your region are going to be just like you. So everybody else will be playing for second, sort of like it is in the fourth region right now.
Yeah.
Third, actually.
Well, I also believe this, demographics is what it is. The bigger the city, more kids you have to choose from. Mm-hmm. It's just a lot easier to be pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is.
Yeah.
Each in our areas, the 4th, 3rd, 5th, bigger city schools have the team you got to beat.
You know, the interesting thing, and we got to go, but the interesting thing to me about the 5th region is you still have a lot of county schools that are competitive in that region.
Yeah.
The 4th region, at least on the boys' side and to some degree on the girls' side, hasn't really panned out that way. And the 3rd region is absolutely dominated by Owensboro. You still have the Butler County blip from time to time, but actually one time. Yeah. But for the most part, yeah, it is that population center is where your schools are.
Even in the 5th, they get somebody in that helps that school.
And this is my closing out part.
Go ahead.
I don't understand how certain schools are allowed to bring kids in every year.
And they're eligible.
And they're always eligible.
And within weeks.
Yeah. And some schools
there is a reason
has a legit transfer. The families move, and it takes 3 months to get them eligible.
It's because the KHSA depends on the reporting of others, because it really does not have an investigative arm or a legal team to battle these things. So it, just like the NCAA, is built at the mercy of the people who have agreed to be a part of it. And if they agree to be a part of it, but they decide to also break the rules, and it's all bets are off, because they really can't hold people accountable, because they get an injunction and they lose in the courtroom every time, and then you have 1 in 14 Highlands as a state champion, even though they had to forfeit every game except for the state title game, which the guy did not play in.
And they still won. We'll be back next week. We'll be back next week. Maybe James will be hatless, but 2 celebrities today. I had 2 celebrities: the James Brown and the Cornelius Faulkner, aka Denzel. And it's just me. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back next week.